Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick.
And our group did problem 4-50B on page 228.
Gibson Networking develops software for internet applications. The market is very competitive, and Gibson Networking's competitors continue to introduce new products at low prices. Gibson Networking offers a wide variety of different software, from simple programs that enable new users to create personal web pages to complex commercial search engines. Like most software companies, Gibson Networking's raw material costs are insignificant. Gibson Networking has just hired Tom Morell, a recent graduate of State University's accounting program. Morell asked software department manager Jeff Geyer to join him in a pilot activity-based costing study. Morell and Geyer identify the following activities: related costs and cost allocation bases,
Which are right here.
Alright, what we have here is our activities, our estimated indirect activity cost, our allocation base, and our estimated quantity allocation base. The first activity they chose was the application development, and they estimated the cost at $1,500,000. With an allocation base, they chose new applications, and they estimated 3 applications. The next was activity they chose is content production, and their estimated costs were $2,700,000, and the allocation base they chose was lines of code, and the estimated quantity base was 9 million lines of code. The next activity is testing. The estimated indirect cost is $270,000, with an allocation base of testing hours, and the estimated testing hours were 1,500. And what we have here is the total indirect cost, which we estimated at $4,470,000.
Gibson Networking is planning to develop the following new applications: XPage software for developing personal web pages, XSecure commercial security and firewall software. XPage requires 480,000 lines of code and 70 hours of testing, while XSecure requires 7.2 million lines of code and 420 hours of testing. Gibson Networking expects to produce and sell 25,000 units of XPage and 9 units of XSecure. That's what's up! So the first requirement we had was compute the cost allocation rate for each activity. Hey Mike, why don't you explain that for us? Why don't you explain it?
Okay, so what we're doing, we're taking the estimated indirect activity costs and we're going to divide it by the estimated quantity allocation base. The first one is $1,500,000 for the application development. So we're going to take that and we're going to divide it by 3 new apps, which gets $500,000 for each application. Next, we're going to take the content production estimation, which is $2,700,000. We're going to divide that by 9 million lines of code, which comes out to 30 cents a line. And then, next we're going to take the testing estimated cost, which is at $270,000, and we're going to divide it by 1,500 estimated hours, which comes out to $180 per testing hour.
Alright, the second requirement is use the activity-based allocation rates to compute the indirect cost of each unit of XPage and XSecure. So we have here on XPage 480,000 lines of code, 70 testing hours, 25,000 units. And for XSecure we have 7.2 million lines of code, 420 testing hours, and 9 units. And go ahead, Michael, take it away.
Okay, so we're going to take what we got from question 1, which is $500,000 per application development, 30 cents per line of code, and $180 per testing hour. We take XPage's lines of code, which is 480,000, times it by 30 cents, which comes out to 144,000. Next we take 70 testing hours, we times it by $180 per hour, which comes out to 12,600. Next, we're gonna add the 500,000 per application development, which totals 656,600. And then we take that number and we divide it by 25,000 units on XPage, and that comes out to $26.26 per unit. Next, we take XSecure, which has 7.2 million lines of code. We multiply it by 30 cents per line of code, which totals 2,160,000. Then we take the 420 testing hours. We multiply it by $180 per testing hour, which gives us 75,600. And then we add the 500,000 for the application development, and that totals out to 2,735,600. And we take that number and we divide it by 9 units, which XSecure has, and that totals to 303,955.55 per unit.
Alright, to find the indirect cost per unit, we're gonna take XPage, its total indirect cost, which is 1,456,000, and we're gonna divide it by 25,000 units, which is gonna give us 58.24 per unit. And XSecures, we're gonna take 2,184,000 divided by 9 units, which is gonna give us 242,666 cents per unit.
So for number 4, it says compare the activity-based cost per unit to the costs from the simpler original system. How have the units costs changed? Explain why the costs change as they did. Mike?
So the activity-based costs per unit for XPage was $26.26. And the cost per unit for XSecure was $303,955.55. And this was under the activity-based costing system. Under the original cost system, the cost per unit for XPage was $58.24, and on XSecure it was $242,666.66 per unit. The cost changed because the activity-based costing focuses on all of the activities of the job, which allows them to properly allocate all the money. The original system just allocated money for how many hours the job as a whole would take, which is less accurate than activity-based costing, and in the long run loses money.
Alright, the 5th requirement asks, what are the clues that Gibson's Networking's ABC system is likely to pass the cost-benefit test? Go ahead, Mike.
So the ABC system is likely to pass the cost-benefit test because Gibson Networking would have noticed a decrease in profits if they had continued to use the original system. The decrease in profits would have mainly come from XPage. As we've shown you earlier in the video, XSecure is actually better under the original system. It's cheaper, but XPage is cheaper under the ABC costing system.